Okay, I just went inside Guy's Pizza Company here and talked to one of the workers in there, and I asked them if they had any kind of signage or anything like that that maybe the Superman Productions left behind, because it was like Hobbs Pizza before. But he said no, they take all that stuff with them. And he said about the only thing they changed up was up front here, and they changed some of the decals here on the windows. But he said they had this all blocked off. They were still working and functioning as a business every day. They weren't able to close, but they had all blocked off where you couldn't see, and they did all their filming from like 6 in the morning to 9 in the morning, so that way they wouldn't interfere too much with some of these businesses, because some of these businesses are still, you know, they can't take a day off. It would hurt their bottom line. So they filmed as early as they could whenever they pretty much got daylight. And you know, they moved fast. So that's what they do here in Hollywood, is they got deadlines and productions that they got to meet. And I'm hearing the testimonies from the actual business owners as we speak. It's kind of cool to be here seeing Hollywood come to pass. Okay guys, next I'm going to be moving on to where it's a place that doesn't really pertain to the movie, but it pertains to the origins of Superman. I'm going to go to where the creators of Superman used to live, where Superman was thought of and where he was first drawn. So that's where I'm going to be moving on to next. So if you want to continue watching, you can. But this is the dismissal portion of the actual Superman movie, and we're going to go more toward the origins now. Okay, here we are in Cleveland, Ohio. This is Jerry Siegel's house, one of the founders of Superman, who created Superman. Take a look at the fencing there. That's got the Superman shield. This is the house where Superman was born. Writer Jerry Siegel was a teenage boy who lived here during the Great Depression, one of the toughest economic times in Cleveland and the country. Jerry wasn't popular. He was a dreamer, and he knew how to dream big. With his best friend, artist Joe Shuster, these two boys created a bright fantasy world of spaceships, strange planets, and a city where a young man in red and blue tights could leap all over tall buildings in a single bound. They called him Superman. They didn't just give us the world's first superhero, they gave us something to believe in. So right here in this house, one of the founders of Superman, it's up in that top left where that air conditioner is in the window there. That's where his room was at. Look at the very top there, you can see some Superman like pajamas or a costume up there. But yeah, so this is a residential property right now. This is where an older lady lives, but it's pretty cool to be in this space right here. Here's a good look at the shield. I got all kinds of Superman artifacts all around. Take a look at that. Okay, now we are at another Superman stop here. This one says, on this site once stood the home where Superman was turned from words into pictures. Joe Shuster came to Cleveland from Canada. He liked sports and comic strips. He drew all the time on boxes, wrapping paper, and even old wallpaper. With his best friend Jerry Siegel, he turned amazing stories about a Man of Steel into four-colored reality. Joe made the whole world look fresh and clean and strong. He made it look super. With the creation of Superman, these two friends show the world to the most ordinary of us and can turn out to be the most heroic. So this is where the house where Superman was actually turned into, you know, a comic strip, the actual real Superman. Now this fence here is not the original fence. So there was a car that had crashed in here at one time, but we're gonna go ahead and show you guys every little clip here. So you got Superman Action Comics. There's the look of the very first book. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, there we go. All right, here's a look at some of the comic strips of the first Action Comics. Right here. Hi. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go down to each pane here, show you guys each comic strip. Hopefully you guys can maybe zoom in here and take a look at the story that they project. Feel free to hit pause on this at any time, so that way you can read the actual comics right here. So that's what the original Superman looks like. All right, here's some more. You're all right. Okay. Okay, so in 2011, a drunk driver crashed into this fence, damaging some of the pages that were created here on this fence. So the missing pages were rehung, and then they had to replace some of the panels on here. So some of the street signs that lead up to this house here, they have a little bit of Superman signage on it. As you can see there, that one says Joe Shuster Lane, and it's got a Superman emblem on there. So right here you can stand at the corner of Joe Shuster Lane, and then they call this road here Lois Lane. So some history right here. This is where Superman was born.